right, good morning. It's Wednesday, and that means WTF CNN, and woo, buddy.
Hey, I don't look like a hobo.
Hey. That's a very nice coffee cup you have.
I know, it's like some good friends of mine got it for me for my birthday.
It's even the right size for a coffee cup. You know, a whole cup.
A small.
It's that bullshit Cuban thing. You ever heard Ralphie May's story about Cuban coffee?
Like, Ralphie May?
Yeah.
Like, I like going to black people's barbecue because they do it right. They make pork. That Ralphie May?
That Ralphie May. Go check out his story about the Cuban coffee. And then I shitted myself right there. So, we're going to start WTF CNN off with a little Fox News. Because Tucker Carlson had Tony Bobulinski on last night.
Yeah, he actually did some journalism.
Ooh! Oh, morning, gang. We got Lindsay. Hey, I forgot to pop the chat out where we could see it. Boom.
I'm glad the moderator approves of my shirt. Why did
she gave you a ruffle and a thimble? Do ruffle mouth. Do ruffle mouth. So, also, Steve, give me a heads up on my audio. And with that, I'll say headphone warning. I adjusted the audio. In fact, I adjusted our in-studio microphone audio up by about 20 decibels, and turned down the intro and the outro. Hopefully that balances out better, y'all. I'm disabled. I'm doing what I can with the speakers here. It's tricky being a professional broadcaster who happens to be deaf.
Rush Limbaugh pulls it off.
Rush Limbaugh has a sound engineer
and cochlear implants.
Rush Limbaugh's sound engineer is not deaf. Mine is. Need Cam's input. So yammer for a minute. Tell us about Bobulinski.
Well, Bobulinski, let's see. Turns out he's a little pissed, and rightly so.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the biggest bombshell from his interview is last night. You stay put. I'm going to adjust that light.
I am put, and I'm staying. But no, one of the. Okay, so first of all, he comes across as extremely credible, and he begged, okay, to not go on Tucker Carlson's show. Basically, all he wanted was the record corrected. Once the bullshit about the Russian disinformation started to come out, he said, "Whoa, my whole family's got decades of military service. You have no idea how badly you're besmirching our name. Take it back. That's all I want for you to do. Take it back, and I'll shut up and go away." And apparently they had until midnight Sunday night to take it back. Bobulinski stayed up late on Sunday night. It never got took back.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about that. My whole family's got skin in the game. Okay, I can relate to this on a big level. Dad served. His dad served. His brother served. Right? My wife served. I served, obviously. My wife served. My baby brother is currently active duty. My wife's father. Her brother. Right? My mother's father. Right? And that chain goes back unbroken, especially through my dad's side. The Lowry clan has put blood on every battlefield in U.S. history. It's the family business. It's what we do. So when we talk about impugning my integrity, impugning my dedication to the cause, warfighters, killers, we take that shit seriously. Very, very seriously. You'll hear me talk from time to time about left-wing justices. We talked about this yesterday, being unable to hold the office in good faith because of the oath. We take that oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. And when you start coming at us with accusations like, "Oh, you're a Russian spy," yeah, buddy, that's I might eat your face.
Yeah, that sounds like a proportionate response, honestly.
Yeah, that doesn't sound unreasonable to me.
So, and this, of course, goes back to the laptop and the fact that Bobulinski a few days ago was able to corroborate some of the things that were found on the laptop. And, of course, old pencil-neck bug-eye Adam Schiff went on CNN and said that this is, this is basically another bullshit Russia thing. And I mean, just real quick, I don't want to go too far off on it, but seriously, more Russia and Ukraine. And, just to reiterate the point.
Russia.
Yeah, Donald Trump got impeached over things that the Biden family actually did. All of this is such a vindication for that perfect, beautiful phone call that it turns out what happened was Donald Trump heard a rumor that maybe the Bidens were doing some crooked shit and called the Ukrainian president, was like, hey, by the way, there might be some crooked shit going on. Would you, like one world leader to another, look into that?
Yeah, let's get a handle on that. So, right after the Biden laptops dropped, let's just take a quick look at WTF CNN. U.S. authorities investigating if recently published emails are tied to Russian disinformation effort targeting Biden.
Published 10/16/2020, as in almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And let's remember that it was either the same day or the next day. We had Ratcliffe, the director of national intelligence. He came out and said categorically, because remember, right around the same time, we had Adam Schiff come out on the record and say the same thing, that the Hunter laptop is a Russia disinformation campaign. And he said very explicitly that the intelligence community told him that information. And within 24 hours.
Hey, Lindsay's pointing out that when we move over to this, the sound drops. For whatever reason, this view makes the sound drop.
Well, that's freaking bullcrap. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, the There, is that better? Well, yeah,
I hope it's better.
I might want to back off that a little bit because I might have just blowed you out. Anyway, so within 24 hours, the director of national intelligence came out and said, no, this is not a Russian disinformation campaign. We have no evidence to support that claim, and absolutely no one in the intelligence community communicated that to Adam Schiff. That did not happen. So, let's fast forward to today.
Dirty, dirty wrench you.
And let's fast forward to today. Tucker Carlson just had Bobulinski on, and Bobulinski dropped two major hammers in the interview with Tucker. The first one, like we just said, Bobulinski said, and how much fun is that? Bobulinski.
I know,
Bobulinski. Right? Anyway, Bobulinski said that he basically begged the Bidens and the campaign, hey, retract your statement, retract the claims of Russian disinformation. My name will not be associated with Russian disinformation. Retract that claim, and I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah, leave me out of it.
So he didn't.
Yeah, leave me out of it, and I'll go away.
So let's take a look. Fast forward to today. Here's CNN's main page. I'm going to hit that F5 key so y'all can watch it reload. You know that we're looking at the absolute current. Oh, look. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Orange man bad.
Look, I'm looking at it. I don't even see the word Biden anywhere.
Oh, that's easy. Let's Control F this hooker.
That Sounds like something Hunter Biden would do to a 14-year-old.
The road to 270 in Ohio. Okay, there's a thing about how Joe could win Ohio. Yeah. Uh-huh. How's about...
Morning, Bubbles.
Oh, look. We're looking at CNN's front page. Hunter. You see that right there? That says 0 out of 0. Literally 0 references to Hunter on the front page of CNN. So, well, I guess it's reasonable that CNN is not the news source whose motto is fair and balanced. I'll give Fox News this. For a left-wing rag, they are the most fair and balanced of the left-wing rags.
Well, they have Tucker.
Yeah, that's basically what does it for them. Now, don't get it twisted. I get a chuckle out of Gutfeld, but
yeah,
I very seldom tolerate even clips from the 5 because, like, I don't know what the deal is with Juan Williams. It kind of feels like he's just playing a part, like he's playing a character, because it just feels like even a hardcore lefty can't be that stupid. And Juan strikes me as a smart guy. Juan sounds like an intelligent guy. It's just that he's bought in, or at least the character that he plays on the 5 is so bought in to the commie narrative. It's hard to square that circle.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan actually wrote about Juan Williams pissing him off during his administration in his personal diaries, that he'd see Juan Williams go on the Sunday shows and it would frustrate him. Be like, Juan, you have to know better than the things that you're saying. So, and Juan Williams, we're talking about the guy that used to be a bigwig for NPR and then one day made the mistake of telling the truth and saying sometimes seeing people in turbans on airplanes makes him nervous.
Yeah.
And he got fired from NPR, and Fox News, bless him, gave him a full-time position. Like, he probably got a pay raise in so doing. So, yeah. Anyhow. But yeah, I mean, CNN has had this information. And as we pointed out before, the FBI's had this information for a year.
And that, yeah, and I hate to relitigate the whole impeachment scandal, but the fact is that the FBI had exculpatory, exonerating evidence to support Trump's position there, and they straight sat on it. They straight up suppressed it. That is, like, I mean, that, in a weird way, that lends even more credibility to the DNI coming out and saying this is not a Russian disinformation campaign, because basically you're looking at the FBI they got caught with their hands in the cookie jar.
Yeah, this is an American disinformation campaign.
What, the impeachment scandal?
All of it, every bit of it.
The Russia scandal?
This
Ukraine?
This is a corporate media disinformation campaign.
Yes. Now, let me say this about the corporate media, though. You said American disinformation campaign, but you're talking about the corporate media. You're talking about CNN. You're talking about MSNBC.
Well, and Congress and the FBI.
Right, and Congress and the FBI. So really what you're saying is this is a Chinese disinformation campaign.
Zing!
So the other bombshell that we got dropped from Bobulinski last night is the kind of the more of the breadth and extent of the Biden crime syndicate. You've got apparently, according to Bobulinski, you've got the Bidens doing these kinds of dirty deals in Oman, Luxembourg, Romania, Khazikstan, and in France, a few other places. So, Steve says, I can't believe the FBI hasn't been entirely restaffed over this crap. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but the Donald has dropped a hit list and said straight up, if I get when he gets reelected, he's just going to fire frickin' everybody. And the name at the top of that list is Christopher Wray. He's just going to start swinging the axe. And I support that 100%. Well, in fact, one of the things that is most wrong with our government and our politics in this country is that not enough people get fired often enough. That was actually one of the reasons that I was in full support of the Donald coming in the first place. Like, the VA is broken. You sit and wait forever. It's terrible. I had a terrifying medical condition of a personal and intimate nature, for which I've visited the VA emergency room, and they just left my fat ass sitting in the waiting room for 16 hours before they even came and saw me. It was a nightmare. I went in one time, and I go up to talk to the guy at the desk that's checking me in. He asked me for my social security number. I got through the first 3 digits, and 500 pounds if he weighed an ounce, falls asleep in his chair as he's typing it on the 10 key, and then all of a sudden snores himself away, wakes himself up, and then looks at me like I'm the idiot and says, "What's your social, man?" Like,
I told you.
Before the Donald, you couldn't fire that fat son of a whore.
Patrick, I'm going to have to disagree with you. Eliminate the FBI. It was supposed to be a temporary organization that allowed, basically, for the federal government to come in and break up the mafias.
And Giuliani took care of that, so we don't need him anymore.
Yeah. And, this is why you don't give the government power. They never give it back. No, night.
Okay, don't ever do that again. Whew. Why won't he do it now? Why hasn't he already? I don't understand why it wasn't done sooner. Oh, okay, so this is playing politics. Donald isn't, I think, the Donald is not refraining from firing these people because he doesn't want to look bad. Instead, he's putting it out. This is a promise that I'm making. And that way, when he's reelected, it's a promise he gets to keep. Because one of the things that sets Donald Trump apart from every other president in history, with the exception of maybe Ronald Reagan, is his extraordinary track record of actually keeping promises. And it's funny how hard they'll lie to tell you, oh, well, Trump's never going to get his wall. The wall's never going to get built.
They're already building it.
It's built. It's up. It's happening. That's they have in fact been building the wall.
Oh, maybe one day we'll do a special segment on the bizarre life and times of J. Edgar Hoover.
Krista says Giuliani for director. You know, I'd be down for that. I would actually be down for Trey Gowdy or Giuliani for director of the FBI, since we're clearly not going to get rid of it.
I think Giuliani needs to stay right where he is. I'd say he's been effective. That's for sure.
I freaking loved it. Crowder said, so Mayor Giuliani, America's mayor, have you seen the pictures of Hunter Biden? Oh yeah, this is the hard drive right here. Damn, son.
We could just roll them into the rest of the alphabet.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, babe, you say that, but I would be totally comfortable with taking all of the various and sundry alphabet organizations that are dispersed throughout what we refer to as the clandestine services, and I'd cut a lot of fat, I'd eliminate a lot of top jobs, and roll them all in together as one organization. That the FBI is an outdated organization that's no longer especially useful as its own separate entity is different than saying that we shouldn't be conducting intelligence operations. We should absolutely be kicking in doors in the middle of the night, dragging bad guys out in black bags, never see their families again. Because for one, it's fun.
And look, just to give some perspective on the esteemed FBI, Everybody knows my dad, Anderson Sr., Papa Sheepdog, been on the show a few times. When he went through DeKalb County's training to work for DeKalb County as a cop, DeKalb County had one of the longest, most extensive, and complex trainings in the entire country. So much so that it doubled as an FBI training facility. And it gave my dad an opportunity to rub shoulders with several FBI agents. And he was told by more than one, 5 years of experience as a DeKalb County sheriff is infinitely preferable to 5 years of experience as an FBI agent, because you'll actually investigate more crimes and be exposed to a wider variety of felonies than you will as an actual FBI agent. The Federal Bureau of Investigation. Like,
So, yeah.
And let me just point out that you got all these bombshells coming out from Bobulinski. This is why early voting is bullshit.
It's also why Biden put on a lid like 3 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He doesn't want to get asked questions about this.
He got criticized for it heavily, and then he showed up in Georgia and spoke to 3 reporters and a supporter.
Hey, Lindsay, I'm sure if you contact Hunter Biden, he could arrange that for you. Oh, our moderator says in the chat, someone purchased my children. She's a little stressed because apparently multiple of them are crying and yelling at her. So, yeah, I think Hunter could make that happen. Anyhow, but this is why early voting is bullshit. Anybody with a semblance of integrity or intelligence, that undecided voter or whatever, this is the kind of thing that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. I mean, we're getting more and more proof that while Joe Biden was a sitting VP, he used his crack-addicted, sex-addicted son as a front man to basically conduct all these shady deals. And according to Bobulinski, the only thing they were peddling was the Biden name. Their last name was Biden. So,
Yep.
Hey, do you speak?
Yeah, and speaking of early voting, and Steve points out, we talked about this a little bit on the show the other day, one top search on Google right now is how to change your vote. Now, more entertainingly, that top search on Google about how to change your vote is primarily being searched in Pennsylvania. And that started literally the day after the last debate. It was a flat line. Like, almost nobody ever searched that phrase. And then the day after Biden said, I will end the oil industry in the third debate, Pennsylvania said, wait, what?
Look, and then I go back to one other thing. I don't think there's any way Donald Trump loses this election if this is a fair election. The only way is by cheating. So yeah, and honestly, I think it's fair to say that there's not just the silent Trump vote, as they call it. I think there are a whole lot of just straight up Democrats that want to vote for Donald Trump. I think there's a lot of people like Tim Pool that are so disgusted with the behavior of the Democrats that it's about punishing.
The red pilling of Tim Pool has been an absolute privilege to watch.
I know, right?
I mean, as recently as 9 months ago, Tim Pool said, look, I'm all for the Second Amendment for everybody else, but I will never have a gun in my house. And recently he's been talking about, I recently bought several. and now this beanie wearing moderate lefty is saying things like, have you seen the prices of ammo, guys? Everybody's sold out of ammo. I can't find enough ammo. But my favorite is, okay, we're broadcasting for the first time from the new studio bunker, which I might add is on a piece of property where if if you could see my house, if you could see my house, you are in a standard, or you're in a Castle Doctrine state.
You know, and one other thing, Styx Hexenhammer made a brilliant point, and I can't believe neither one of us thought to bring things to this level. As he discussed the Hunter Biden laptop, it's not just about Hunter Biden. It's also about Joe Biden. But that doesn't take it far enough. This is the elites.
Yeah.
Period. This is how they see things. Okay? Rules for thee, but not for me. If you run all over the world and get in bed with shady companies and funnel money around and pretend like you're not giving 10% to your family members, we'll put you in jail. Oh, if you smoke crack, we'll put you in jail. If you have orgies with underage women, children, whatever, we'll put you in jail. And certainly if you make a habit of doing, all of those things at once, over and over and over and over and over and over again, we'll put you in jail. But Hunter Biden, where's Hunter Biden right now? He's not in jail.
The wife says it's also about Epstein. Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think that makes a lot of sense.
The the QAnon, all the QAnon crap about the Democrats being a satanic cult. That Epstein had this very interesting temple on the island. I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole. And I love conspiracy theories. I love to study them because they're just fascinating how people arrive at some of the conclusions they arrive at. But you got to be careful with that shit. That's a dangerous road to walk down, because there are conspiracy theories out there that are just way the hell off the deep end. And when you get down to the spot that the answer to every question is that's what they want you to think, you're in dangerous territory, because you run the risk of beginning to question your own, not your own assumptions, but your own. You run the risk of starting to believe things that you would not normally have believed. And it's when I go down the path and start studying, start looking into various conspiracy theories, and I let myself do the deep dive into the information, it's a little bit like Descartes going to intentionally switch off reality and explore hyperbolic doubt as a metaphysical concept. It's tricky, but it's interesting.
Rod's asking the question, who has Trump ever put in jail? And I think that's an interesting question.
It is.
Because here's the problem. And this is why I think nothing ever happened to Hillary. Not because she's not guilty. Not because he couldn't get the dirt on her or whatever. But it's a feature of a lot of socialist countries, authoritarian countries, where if you lose the election, you get locked up.
Yeah.
And man, that's one of those where it's like there's no good choices. Sure, Hillary belongs in jail, but do we want to crack that egg open?
I'm hoping that what's going to happen is that, the man's got the nickname the Teflon Don, right? Nothing sticks to him, all that. And I'm hoping that what that does, I'm hoping that translates after a Trump win as a lame duck president that doesn't need to worry about getting reelected. He just goes with it. And I kind of feel like he might. Even with a re-election to concern himself with, he's been a bit of a bull in the china shop, and that's what we love about him. I mean, the throwing a hand grenade in the establishment has been an absolute just orgy of schadenfreude for nearly 4 years. Who can forget the Moab?
No, but I guess the thing that would bother me is...
And real quick, he hasn't used enforcement as a political tool, and that's another piece of it. Unlike scandal-free Obama, there has been no evidence, no claims that Donald Trump has used the IRS to target political opponents, the FBI to target and harm political opponents, the NSA to target and harm political opponents. Yes.
I mean, going after AP journalists.
Yeah, including incarcerating journalists, right? Targeting and tapping the phones of journalists. And let's not forget, during the whole Ukraine scandal, some Democrat activists, specifically, was it Schumer or Schiff? It was Schiff, got busted up. They got busted actively targeting phone records and unmasking Devin Nunes and a bunch
Sean
of
Hannity?
And a bunch of reporters, including Sean Hannity.
Yeah.
Right? Straight up conducting illegal, yes, felony, yes, violation of your oath of office and violation of the non-disclosure agreements that you signed in order to be given access to TSSCI and special access programs, in clear violation of UCIT 18, spied on and unmasked U.S. citizens and U.S. politicians and U.S. journalists. And not only did he do it, let me be clear, it's a crime to do that and then not show the information to anybody. He did it and then published the information, right? I think that Schiff is not in prison is beyond me, let alone that he still has a position in the government.
So, to address a few things that are being said in the chat, Krista says, crack the egg and fry all the eggs. And Rod asks, does he control any of these government organizations? Okay, so there's two pieces to this. Once any president crosses this line, you have to accept the fact that every president from that point forward will also cross the line. And just like, I mean, for the past 100 years, I think it's fair to say we've only had a handful of presidents that had even marginally rolled back government authority. The only one I could honestly say that I think you could objectively say rolled back governmental power goes all the way back to Calvin Coolidge, okay? The first libertarian president. Now, what needs to happen is this is not the purview of the president. Yeah, he should fire people. He should issue executive orders defunding people. All that is perfectly within the president's purview. What really needs to happen is a few attorneys general need to sprout a sack and impanel some grand juries to look at some of these situations. Because I don't, like the Hunter Biden laptop is a fantastic example. If you gave that to a grand jury, there's no way the grand jury doesn't indict. No way. And then you do the thing. You say, guess what, Hunter? You can go to jail, or everybody else can go to jail, and you don't go to jail. Pick one. But that's the job of the attorneys general.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's all I've got for this morning.
Rod's right. The calls for prosecution are everywhere, and that is the job of prosecutors.
And like we were saying earlier, you got your CNN, your MSNBC, and all those. That's part of what's going on here, Rod. The calls for prosecution are everywhere on alternative media, but the Chinese propaganda cartel that is the CNNs, the MSNBCs, and the like, are actively suppressing not only explicitly true items, but the voice of the people.
I don't know who come Kamala Harris BTVP candidate is.
Oh no, don't delete the comment. Whoa, 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 whoa. Give her a minute, Hey, Steve, give her a minute. Let her get herself in trouble.
I thought it was funny.
I did too. Hey, but I applaud your judicious marksmanship.
Fair enough. Thank you, Steve. Trigger words are things to be... Oh, God, I hate the fact that we live in a world where we even have to worry about trigger words. So, yeah, all of this. So, I mean, all of this. WTF CNN. Early voting is bullshit. Rules for thee, but not for me. I mean, everything in this all ties together for why you should go vote for Donald Trump. Yeah. Like, good grief.
All right, that's about all I've got for this morning. It's time to get some. Okay, the wife is upstairs cooking pancakes.
Oh yeah, like, share, subscribe, please.
Yeah, definitely. And Derek, I'm assuming that you were also Kamala Harris BTVP. So
oh Lord.
We appreciate you hitting like there, Derek. Come on back and watch us again tomorrow. I'll have a chat with the mods about trigger words, because we do have to be careful. We get trolls from time to time that are just actively trying to get the show shut down or banned, and so we do have to keep an eye on that. You think I have a dad? Not with a name like that. So that's all we've got for today. Y'all be safe out there, and we will see you tomorrow.